Okay, Harley. So today we've got the present tense, okay? Now,
Okay.
that is the first thing that we're gonna go through, and we're gonna go through it fairly quick because I know that this is something that you do know about, okay? Now, I'm going to explain each and every one of the tenses. I'm gonna tell you how and when to use it. I'm gonna give you the conjugation only for the regular verbs. What does that mean that I'm gonna give you the conjugation for regular verbs?
Mhm. I mean, I'm not sure other than um we have irregular verbs as well.
Exactly. And what does irregular mean?
Is that where we change the spelling?
Well, we will always change and adapt the word to the
No,
amount of people that would
I was thinking at the beginning or something.
at the beginning. So when we change, well, the irregulars are those verbs that kind of follow their own rules, right? For example, remember that we have ir. You know what ir means?
To go.
Perfect. And then how do you say I am going or I go?
Yo voy.
Perfect. Okay. So do you see how that is very different? How it goes from ir to boy? It's like quite the change, right?
Uh-huh.
That is known as irregular, meaning that one word doesn't have anything to do with the other, right? It looks really different. But if I say, for example, hablar and hablo, they kind of look similar, don't they?
Yeah.
But ir and boy don't look similar at all in any way. So this is a regular verb. This is an irregular verb, okay? And the
Okay.
way for us to know is based on the conjugation. If the conjugation is all weird and doesn't make any sense, it's probably an irregular verb, okay?
Okay.
So I am going to only give you the regular verbs for today, for all of the tenses that we go through. Now, what are the tenses that we're going to be learning? We're going to learn the present. We're going to learn something called reflexivos. I'll explain what that means. And I'm going to tell you again how and when to use them. Time markers. Time markers, hardly. For example, if I say yesterday, what tense do you have to use?
Past.
The past tense. If I say tomorrow, what tense do you have to use?
Future.
Exactly, right? That's very
Hmm.
easy. But now there are more time markers than that, right? If I say today, it's pretty easy for us to know that that's today, present tense. But there are
Right.
other words that could also potentially work for that. So we're also going to learn the time markers, okay? So once we understand how and when to use each tense, and once we understand the time markers, we're going to go through the regular conjugation of the verbs. Again, those that make sense. And then I'm going to show you some examples of it, okay? And we're going to do
Okay.
with that with, first of all, present tense, whatever happens today. Reflexive verbs, things that we do to ourselves, such as dressing up, such as brushing our own teeth, such as washing our own hands, washing our feet, breaking our nails, our bones, our something, right? Something that belongs to us. So there are certain verbs, things that we can do to ourselves, right?
Okay.
Now, there is another thing called gerundio. The gerundio is the ing. All those things happening right now. I am studying right now. I am watching a movie right now. I am studying Spanish with my family. I am traveling with my dog. You know, all of these different things are the ing, right? And I will show you how to use it. And again, how I want to use it. Time markers. the formation, meaning like the conjugation, how we create this, and then examples. So that's going to be the structure for all of the sentences that we're going to learn today. We have the past simple. When do we use the past simple? When an action ended. Okay, so we're going to learn that as well. We're going to learn the imperfecto. Now that's a different past tense. This past tense is really, really good when we want to tell stories. For example, when I was living in Texas, my life and was like this, like this, like that, right? When I was going to university, my life was like this, like that, right? So that's the difference between this past tense and this past tense up here, okay?
Okay.
So there is more than one past tense. For example, I think the best example that I can give you is I ate pizza and I used to eat pizza. Do you feel the difference with those two statements? I ate
Yes.
pizza and I used to eat pizza. Let's say that this one is more like I ate pizza, and let's say that this one is more like I used to eat pizza. Okay?
Okay.
There are more rules to it, of course, but I am, generally gonna explain how they work just to give you a brief look into everything that I've got here on the screen. Now, the other one that we learned the other day, remember that exercise that we were doing? Have you ever done this? I've never done that. I've never eaten this. I've never gone there. I've never
Mhm.
thought about that. I've always wanted to, blah, blah, blah. I have never broken a bone. I have studied a lot of Spanish this week. Sorry.
Bless you.
Wow. Gracias. You know how to say bless you?
Salute.
Correcto. Salud. Muy bien. And it means health, by the way. So when we sneeze, hardly we wish people health. Salud.
Okay.
Okay.
Same thing as cheers, isn't it?
Exactly. We cheers, we celebrate to health, right? We do a cheers to health,
Okay.
a toast to health. Okay? The last one, sorry, the next one is future. Future is very obvious, right? All of those things that have not happened yet. Predictions, future plans, promises, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Now there is more than one future. There is another future called futuro próximo. Now, don't get scared. This thing is exactly the same in English. For example, I will travel tomorrow or I am going to travel tomorrow. As you can hear it, as you can see in the whole thing, it's very, 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 very close together, right?
Hmm.
So there's not a whole lot of difference between the two. And actually, a lot of people, a lot of Spanish learners, they go a whole life. They go their whole lives with speaking like Spanish, and they speak really good Spanish, and they never really care for this future. They mostly use the I am going to, right?
Okay.
And why do they do that? Because this one is much easier, and I'll show you why. Okay, and the very last one. The very last one was the one, oh no, oopsie, we have one more, but I'm actually not gonna get into that one. That's a little bit dumb. Now, this one, conditional, is what we did the other day that we were playing. Remember, would you rather? Would you
Hmm.
rather have this or would you rather have that? Would you prefer this or would you prefer that? That's all the conditional, the would, right? So what does that do? If you're giving, sorry, if you are imagining, if you're picturing a hypothetical situation, this is where this guy comes in, the conditional. So if I had $1 million, I would buy a mansion in Malibu, right? Well, that's not enough for a mansion in Malibu, probably.
Right.
But if I had $10 million, I would buy a mansion in Malibu. Hopefully 10 will do. So, conditional, yeah? So,
Uh-huh.
things that are hypothetical. They are not in the present, right? They are not in the future. They are not something that happened. They are hypothetical situations. We're just letting our imagination wander. We're just picturing things, yeah? So does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so as you can tell, each and every one of these tenses, many of them, yeah, of course, there's many of them, but I believe that this 10 that I'm listing right here are, for the most part, the most important things that you will need to really have a conversation, okay? Now, we will, of course, go through all of them little by little, learn more about them, use them in conversations and all of that. But for you to have a general idea on how they work, you'll be able to understand where certain words come from, right? Then the
Uh-huh.
next would be for you to start speaking, right? So
Yes.
I'm gonna give you again a brief overview on all of that. And let's begin then with the present tense. We're gonna do approximately like 10 minutes with each, so you have an idea of what's going on. Now, before I get to the first one, let's cover this one super quick. This one is called subjuntivo. Now, it's a very interesting tense, and I'm not a fan of it because English doesn't even have it. We use it a lot, unfortunately. But it's something that expresses wishes, doubts, emotions, recommendations, uncertainty. Very, very special. Sorry, specific. So, for example, have a nice day. It's more like, I hope you have a nice day when we use the subjuntivo. So it's not, again, it's not the present tense, it's not the future, it's not the past. It's more like, I wish that you have a good day. So that's when we use the subjuntivo. And of course, a lot of people wish you a good day every day, right? So that's why it's a common thing. Another thing that happens here is like, I hope that it doesn't rain. It's not the present tense, it's not the future. It's also not a hypothetical situation that I'm imagining. I'm just hoping, right? So that's where the subjuntivo comes in. I hope it
Okay.
doesn't rain. Hopefully, it won't rain, right? In English, you're using the future actually. I hope it won't rain.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, there are many ways to use the subjuntivo in English because there is no specific way to translate that to English since it doesn't really exist. Now, okay, let's go. Let's go to the top. Presente. Okay. Harley, when do we use it?
Use this to talk about what you do regular, habitually, or right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's for facts, routines, states, and general truths.
Exactly. Okay. Time markers.
Hoy, normalmente, siempre, todos los días, a veces.
Excelente. Muy bien. Now, this right here is a very short way for me to do the whole chart. Um, what you see right there is gonna be the ending, okay? So I'm gonna give you three different verbs and let's conjugate them real quick, okay? So hablar is what?
To speak.
To speak, fantastic. Okay, therefore I speak would be
Hablo.
you speak,
Hablas.
she speaks, he speaks.
Habla.
Perfect. We speak.
Hablamos.
Hablamos,
Hab-
hablamos.
Hablamos.
Perfect. And they speak.
Hablan.
Hablan. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you which one is which. Just give me the whole breakdown, just like we did with hablar, with comer and vivir, please.
Okay. Como, comes, comí, comimos,
Mhm.
comen,
Perfect.
vivo, vives, vivi, vivamos, viven,
Okay, awesome. Real quick, this is always gonna be an e. Therefore, that means it's gonna be vive.
vive,
Sorry,
vive,
vive, vive. Yes, vive, vive.
vive.
Now, the
Vive.
reason why this one is an E is because we will always keep the first part, right? And we're just
Uh-huh.
only gonna change the last part. So that's why, because this chart says E right here, that's why it becomes vive, okay? Now, careful with your E and with your E. I know these ones are confusing for English speakers since this one is an E for you guys, and this one is an E for us, right? So,
Vivimos.
vive, vivimos, vivimos.
Vivimos.
Perfect. There we go. And then we eat would be
Comimos.
comemos.
Comemos.
Comemos. Perfect. Comemos. That's it. That's it. Okay. Let's read the examples.
Hoy hablo con mis estudiantes. Normalmente, sino temprano.
Muy bien.
Vivo con mi familia.
Excelente. I think you know everything, maybe except this one. What is seno?
Maybe get up. I'm not, I don't think it's that, but
Ah,
I'm not
no,
sure.
it's not. It's comes from cenar, and cenar is to have dinner. So
Oh, okay.
I normally what?
Eat dinner early.
Excelente, muy bien. I normally eat dinner late early. Excelente. How would you say I normally eat dinner late?
Normalmente ceno más tarde.
Más tarde would be later, but late, tarde.
Normalmente ceno noche. En
Uh,
la noche.
Tarde was perfect. It's just that if you say más tarde, it's like saying later. But if you
Okay.
say just tarde, it means late.
Okay.
Okay? Now, that's perfect, Harley. Now, let's do three examples on our own about ourselves. Okay? So, Harley, give me three facts, three things about you. For example, I'm gonna give you a couple examples with me. So, I can tell you, tengo 27 años, vivo en Playa del Carmen y soy maestra de español, for example. All of these ones are present tense statements. And not only that, they also are ways for me to introduce myself, right? They're like, in a way, introductory phrases. I don't know if that's a word.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you a minute and I'm gonna let you think about three things that you want to say. It doesn't have to
Okay.
be like what I said like this. Could also be like camino, camino mucho, which means,
I know I've seen Camino, but I can't remember.
well, camino means two things. It's either a path or I walk. And if you say
Oh, Cam.
camino el camino, you would be saying I walk the path.
Okay. Because
Mhm.
that comes from caminar.
Correcto. Muy bien. So,
Okay.
like I said, you can use any verb, any sort of sentence, as long as it's present tense, okay? So just give me three.
All righty.
Also, if you need a word or something, just ask me. Si necesitas una palabra, algo más, me dices.
Okay. All right, I'm ready.
Ok, dime cuáles son tus oraciones.
Tengo un negocio de construcción.
Ah, qué bueno. Ok, dame un segundo. Quiero ponerlas aquí en todas tus palabras, ¿ok? Todas tus oraciones. Harley's, bueno, no. Las oraciones de Harley. ¿Ok? La primera, bueno, voy a poner acá presente. Ajá, tengo un de construcción, ¿verdad? Excelente, ¿ok? Número dos.
Vivo en Atlanta, Georgia y Playa del Carmen.
Ujú. Ajá, ¿y la otra?
Estoy estudiando para ser day trader.
Ah, okay. Now that one is fantastic. I actually love this sentence. Let's just use it for the ing one, okay? This one is I am studying, right?
Oh, that's right.
Mhm. But that's perfect. It's definitely also a present tense one, okay? It's just slightly different. Slightly different because it belongs to something called gerundio, meaning all the ing. For example, I am working, I am studying, I am
Okay.
traveling, I am all of that, right? So let's do one more.
All right.
I love tengo, I love vivo. Sorry, yeah, I love that you said tengo and vivo. Estoy is fantastic as well. You could use estoy actually, but not with the ing.
Okay.
And estoy, remember, it means I am for anything that's temporary. I am tired, I am happy, I am excited, I am at my house, I am at the beach, um, I,
Me encanta viajar.
me encanta viajar is a fantastic tense, perfect, me encanta viajar. Excelente, ok. So Harley, todo bien, ok. Este es el presente,
Okay.
ok. Vamos a continuar ahora con con los verbos reflexivos, ¿ok? Now, Harley, let me introduce you to this concept. Reflexive verbs. Let's read this. Vamos a leer, por favor.
Used when the subject does the action to themselves, daily routines, body actions, emotions, and personal care verbs are usually reflexive.
Yes, okay. Do you understand what that means?
Um, I'm not sure what reflexive means.
Well, reflexive doesn't really matter. It's only the name that they decided to put, that decided to assign to this thing. Okay, doesn't really matter what it means.
Okay.
Um, I don't really. I guess to reflect is to look at oneself, right? To think like deeply about oneself in a way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I do understand what they mean about daily routines,
Okay,
emotion,
so think about it. What is like a daily routine, something that we do every day, let's say, to
shower,
ourselves? Perfect. That's one. What's the other one?
brush our teeth.
Brush your teeth. Fantastic. What else?
What, it's something we do to ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Brush your teeth, shower,
Brush your hair, shower.
your hair. Fantastic. What else?
I mean, you may put lotion on.
Exactly. Lotion. Fantastic. Also makeup, right?
Yeah,
You can put
makeup.
makeup. Also, you can remove the makeup.
Yeah.
So all of these different
Well, you
things.
better remove it.
Yeah, sometimes I don't. It's really bad for my skin. So, exactly. Exactly. You got it all right, Harley. Those are all the reflexive verbs, all those things that we do to ourselves. And body actions, right? Meaning like, yeah, shower. Certain emotions. Actually, one of the emotions that we use for the, well, one of the examples that I can give you is I feel. That's one reflexive verb. Now, what is the difference between a regular verb, like a normal verb, like the ones we were learning up here, like for example, comer and hablar, all of that? Um, for the most part, because I mean, certain things we can also do to ourselves. For example, to speak, you can also speak to yourself, right? So in a
Yes.
way, it can also belong to this category. But in a way, the main difference is that when we are talking about the reflexive verbs, we are doing these actions to ourselves. And when we are not, then it just is a regular verb. For example, let's think about trabajar. You don't really work yourself like you shower yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so then that means that trabajar is not a reflexive verb. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Uh-huh.
So that's exactly how that works. Okay, now, something I didn't tell you about the time markers, and please remind me what are time markers, Harley.
They give you clues on what to say,
On which tense to
on
use.
which tense. Okay.
On which tense to use, okay? Now, something I forgot to tell you about that is that it is perfectly normal for these ones to sometimes repeat themselves, right? So for example, if you say every day I shower, you can also say every day I work. Working and showering are not the same type of verbs in Spanish. One is reflexive, the other one is not. But the word todos los días, which means every day, can be used for both reflexive and for both for both reflexive and regular verbs. Does that make sense?
Say that one more time.
So all of the time markers, I think I didn't really specify this thing, but just so you know, these ones doesn't necessarily mean that we cannot use it in multiple tenses. Like not this
Right.
one being here means that it's only ever gonna be used with reflexive verbs, right? Some
Yeah.
of these ones can be used in many different situations. For example, I can also use hoy or normalmente for reflexive verbs. For example, today I shower, or every day I shower, or I normally shower, right? Or oh, I always shower. So my point is that you'll see todos los días and todos los días and many other different time markers more than once. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so that's pretty much what I wanted to say with that. Okay, now, um, that is how that works, okay? Reflexive verbs, things that we do to ourselves. There is a long list of this kind of verbs, Harley. Something that also belongs to this category is things that we do to each other. For example, seeing each other. I'll see you tomorrow. Hugging each other, right? kissing
Mhm.
each other, loving each other, hating each other, marrying one another, divorcing each other, right? All of these things are reflexive verbs. So
Okay.
the list can be long, okay? But in general terms, those are the rules, let's say, about it, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, let's read the examples.
Todos los días me levanto a las 7.
Okay. What do we say about this letter?
Me.
Perfecto. Yes. Muy bien. One more time.
Todos los días me levanto a las 7.
Much, much better. Just when you say oh, Harley, make sure it sounds like oh, todos los días.
Los.
Mhm. And this one is o, Okay? So todos los días. Let's say it one more time.
Todos los días.
Perfect. Muy bien. And what does that mean?
Every day I get up at 7.
Excelente. Okay. And do you see that funny me at the beginning?
What'd you say about May?
Why do I even put that? Why is there like why can't I just say levanto?
That's a good question. I'm not, well, because you're speaking about, well, I guess either one you could be speaking about yourself.
Not technically, hardly. So this is
Oh,
why
okay.
the reflexive verbs are even relevant. I have to put that me levanto, Harley, to specifically say I wake myself up. Now, that's not how we say it in English. You don't say I wake myself up. But in grammar terms, like in how Spanish works, well, it has that rule. It says that when you do things to yourself, then you have to specify that you're doing it to yourself. But with that me.
But if you're doing something to somebody else, you still need to specify
Yeah.
them or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Mhm. If you say te levanto, you're saying I wake you up
Yep.
because remember te amo means I love you.
Uh-huh.
Therefore te means
You,
exactly. And the backwards thing here, we talked about it before, is that who goes first?
you.
Exactly. And then the person that is doing the action goes last. Okay?
Okay.
So the person receiving the action, receiving the love, right? Te amo goes first. And the person going last, sorry, the person doing the action goes last.
Okay.
Okay, so very good question. Yes, we totally can do these things to other people. I can wake someone up. I can brush someone's hair. I can brush someone's teeth, right?
Yeah.
But these are things that yeah, we do to ourselves normally, right? But 100% fantastic observation, Harley. We can totally do it to other people. And when we do it to other people, we change the receiver, okay? So if I'm doing it to someone else, then it's they. If I'm doing it to myself, then it's me, okay? And if I
Okay.
do it to us, I wake us up, which is a funny thing to say, but it is possible. You could say
Yeah.
nos, right?
Uh-huh.
So my point is this is not there are no limitations in that way, right?
Okay.
The thing now that becomes relevant then Harley is for you to know who the heck does what, okay? So this is how it works. I do it to myself, it's me. Okay, let me put myself in here. Yourself or you, right? I wake
Uh-huh.
you up or you wake yourself up. Okay? Herself or himself. Nos is ourselves or us, like all of this could be or he, she, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you, this could be I, okay? And then this one is themselves. Yeah. And by the way, you might see se twice, okay? That's okay. Sometimes some people, when they are creating languages, they're like, you know what? We're running out of words. Let's just do the same thing, you know? So um, that's what they're doing here. Okay, so fantastic observation. Let's continue. Por la noche.
Por la noche, te banos antes de dormir.
Okay, let's read this one more time.
Banas.
Mm, so the squiggly thing, do you know what kind of noise it makes?
It's like an emphasis.
Not really. It's more like a ñe, ñe, like
Mhm.
español.
Okay.
Okay. Have you ever heard that word? Español. Ñe.
Espanol.
That's how you say Spanish in Spanish, right? Español.
Right.
And it's got the squiggly thing. So, por la noche te bañas. Ñe, te bañas.
Bañas.
Now, Harley, this squiggly thing is really important because if you were to not use it and just say, fuck this squiggly thing, and I'm not going to say it. For example, año is year and ano is anus. Okay? So, very different things. If I say moño, that's a ribbon. But if I say mono, that's a monkey. Okay? So,
Okay.
that's why the squiggly thing is going to be important. Okay? If I say banas, doesn't really say anything. Actually, that doesn't mean anything. But messing this two up is gonna be funny. Año and ano, and moño and mono, definitely, definitely a difference there. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, make sure that when you see the squiggly thing, it's not really an emphasis that you're gonna make on that word and that on that letter. You're gonna just make it nye, nye, like lasagna in a way, right? Like
Okay.
Kanye, nye. So, por la noche te bañas antes de dormir. What does that mean?
Use the bathroom before you go to bed.
You shower, actually. Yeah, you
Okay.
bathe
Shower.
yourself. You bathe yourself before going to bed. Yeah.
I thought ducho was shower.
For Spaniards, for people in Spain, yes, but Mexicans usually we just use bañarse. Yeah.
Okay.
hmm Now, this one, the last one, you probably don't know what acostarse is, but I'll let you know what that means.
Nos acostamos a
Okay.
las 10 en la noche.
De la noche, very good. Now, nos acostamos means we go to bed. We lay down, actually. Acostarse is more like laying down. But
Okay.
for the most part, it means going to bed or sleeping with someone.
All right.
Yep, so nos acostamos, like laying on bed. And, oh, it could also be like I'm gonna lay on the couch, you know? So laying or going to bed. But it's a
Okay.
now something that I want you to remember with the whole reflexive thing. You see how comer, this is the root of the word. Remember we talked about that?
Uh-huh.
That is the root. That's where any variation of this word comes from. Okay? So, for example, if I say I eat hardly, how do you need to change that word for it to be I eat?
Comí.
For the past tense, that's fantastic. I ate. That is great. Okay? I ate. Comí. Now, I eat today.
Oh, come.
Come is he eats in the present tense. He eats. I eat. What is the letter we always need, Harley,
Como?
for ourselves? Huh?
Como?
Exactly. Perfect. I eat. I eat. Como. So you
Okay.
see all these different variations? I
Uh-huh.
ate. He eats. I eat. All of these variations come from the father, right? Who is
Comer.
comer. Exactly. Now, these guys, the reflexive verbs, they also have a father, okay? And it looks this way. Acostarse. It looks pretty much the same as comer. It's just that at the end, all of these reflexive verbs are going to have a se at the very end. And when you see a se, it means that those are things that are being done either to themselves or to others. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for example, we have nos acostamos. Now, that is a variation of the father acostarse, of to lay down. Sorry, not to, this is to lay down. Now, this one is
We
we
lay down.
lay down. So, my point is the word, as always, as we've been learning, it's going to change, right? And it's constantly going to change.
I mean, you can, do you have to say nos or can you just say acostamos?
You kind of have to hardly, yes. It's just how the language was made. And it just says that if you say acostamos, it doesn't say who's doing the action in a way. It's a little bit incomplete, you know? For example, if I say
I
say
thought it did
that
whenever it had amos at the end.
it does for those verbs that are not reflexives. If they are
Oh,
reflexives, you need both.
okay.
So fantastic observation. Yes, when you see a without it, it means that those words are not reflexive. For example, we work, trabajamos. And again, you don't really work yourself like you shower yourself or like you put makeup on yourself or like you put clothes on yourself. Yeah? Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Trabajamos is not a reflexive verb. So that's why you don't need nos trabajamos. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so that's why you are thinking, why is it that it needs it? Why is it that it needs it? Well, it needs it if it's reflexive, but if it's not reflexive, it doesn't need it. Okay. Now, what
Yeah,
was
but trabajamos,
uh-huh.
I mean, that's kind of like a daily routine, or no?
It's a daily routine, yes, but it's not something that you do to yourself. And the one most important rule about this whole reflexive thing is that you do it to yourself.
Okay.
So that's a good point. Yeah. It's a daily routine, but not something you do to yourself. I mean, you kind of you kind of do like you gotta work, right? And you make the
Uh-huh.
sacrifice to work and you do this to yourself, right? To make some money, but
Yeah.
kind of different. It's kind of different. Why am I doing this to myself? Tell me.
Yeah.
But okay, so that's how that works. Okay, so anyway, Harley. So reflexive verbs, just like any other verb, they're going to have a root and they're gonna be adapting, moving, changing a lot based on the person that you are referring to. Now, who's that person? Okay, that could be me, me, could be te, could be se, could be nos, or could be se again, right? So let's take actually bañarse, which is to shower or to bathe ourselves, oneself. Now,
Now, is nos used other ways?
yeah, it could mean
That's
us.
what I thought.
It could mean us for sure. Ourselves or us. Could be both.
Okay. But
Mhm.
that's the only way that word is used.
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
I cannot think of anything else. Maybe there's something in there, but not really. Not anything I can think of right now. Okay,
Okay.
so nos acostamos is we go to bed at 10 p.m. Okay, now if you were to follow that pattern, if you were to follow that logic, and again, nos acostamos comes from acostarse. Now, bañarse is to shower yourself, to bathe yourself. How do you think we would say we shower ourselves? Or we shower, just we shower. But technically in Spanish, it's we shower ourselves.
Nos
Yes.
bañáramos.
Nos bañamos.
Bañamos.
You were very close. Fantastic. Now, maybe what was slightly throwing you off is where do I put the se? Well, if you are putting the nose, then that's already the se. Okay?
Okay.
And then what you have to do is just put the amos here because we take out the R again. We take out the R. We pretty much take out everything out and we just leave the root, which is bañe. Okay? So nos bañamos. We shower ourselves.
Okay.
Okay, let's take one more example and let me go with let me go with let me think about it. Oh, levantarse. Levantarse, which is getting up. Here you have me levanto, which means
I get up.
perfect. Let's do we wake up. We get up.
Nos levantamos.
Perfect. Perfect. I would just work on the pronunciation there. This would be
Levantamos.
exacto. Muy bien. Nos levantamos. Ujú. We wake up. Okay? Good. Are we good?
Yep.
Getting there? Okay. Now, just like we did earlier, Harley, we're gonna do 3 examples, okay? Now, I want you to think about those things that we do to ourselves, okay? You gave me so many examples. I brush my teeth, I shower every single day. I put on my cologne, stuff like that, right? All of those are
Uh-huh.
fantastic examples of what works here. Also, like we love each other, we hate each other, all of those different things. Like my daughters and I, we love each other, right? That is something that you could say with this.
Okay.
Mhm. So, yeah, I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes and we can come back to it.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay.
¿Me bañas todos los días?
You shower me every day?
Oh,
That's
me
okay.
baña.
Yes. Yes. Perfect. It's perfect as long as you know what you're saying. I don't mind. I don't judge. I just want to know that we're on the same page.
That's right.
Me baño todos los días. So I shower every day. Perfect. Okay, next one.
¿Me feliz hoy?
Mm, me siento feliz. Me siento feliz hoy. Now, um, the reason why me feliz doesn't work on its own is you're not telling me what, right? You're not saying if it literally says myself happy today, if I take out the feel. But if I say me siento feliz hoy, that way, me siento, I am saying I feel happy today.
Okay.
The mistake there was not giving me an action, hardly. You were just saying me feliz. You need to give me an action. You need to tell me what is happening, right? If you just say me happy today, I don't know what is it that you want to say, right? You need to say I feel happy today
Okay.
or I am happy today. Now, I am happy today would be estoy feliz. Now this is I am happy. I am happy. And this one is I feel happy.
Okay.
Estoy feliz. Me siento feliz. Very similar, but one is I feel happy. The other one is I am happy.
Okay. So my next one is estoy mucho cansado.
Um, Me siento, yeah, I would use again, I feel very tired. Me siento
Okay.
muy cansado. Now, I would not use, you said hoy?
No, I didn't say oil.
No, okay, me siento muy cansado. Now, I would not say mucho cansado, Harley. Do you have any idea why?
No, I'm not sure. I guess oh well, I'm not a lot.
What was
I'm
it?
very.
Exactly, very, not a lot. You cannot tell me I feel a lot happy, but very
Okay.
happy or very excited or very tired. Okay. So, well, that is all about the reflexive verbs. Well, we covered two topics today, which were very important, but I think we are good for now. What do you think, Carly?
Okay.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
um we have the three. Actually, if you're free tomorrow, we could also have a session. What time works for you if you're free tomorrow?
Um, well, I think